Hi, it's Pete Sirianni, editor here at the Newcastle News. Quick rundown of some of our top stories of the week, which you can find at my right. On Monday, Eugene Pizzuto, retired Newcastle News reporter, wrote a story about Lou Zona over at the Butler Art Institute in Youngstown. He's being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award. In Wednesday's newspaper, Dan Irwin has been following the public-private partnership at the Lawrence Village Plaza in Shenango Township for years now. Ground was broken on the new Coney Island hot dog shop franchise, and that's going to be out there at the plaza. So again, that was in Wednesday's paper, one of our top stories of the week. On Friday, Gwen Alberts had a story about Scott Township Fire Department. They're eagerly awaiting the arrival of their new fire truck. That truck will be coming into the township between 5 and 6 p.m. on Saturday. They're hosting a reception for it. So if you're interested in seeing a new fire truck, 5 to 6 p.m., Scott Township Fire Hall on Saturday. And then on Saturday's newspaper, the Saturday Centerpiece, Reverend David Young was honored with the YMCA Salute to Courage Award at a reception at Medore's at the Villa on Thursday night. So Nick Versilla has that story. We have a bunch of really good photos that you can check out on our website.
Hey, I'm Eric Scicchitano with CNHI Pennsylvania, and here's a quick look back at what occurred this week across the Commonwealth. A top staffer within Governor Josh Shapiro's administration resigned. That occurred one day before allegations of sexual harassment against another female staffer surfaced publicly. The governor didn't make any remarks this week directly about that situation. His office did release a press release announcing the resignation, but didn't reference the allegations whatsoever. The press release could be described as pleasant, but it was brief. In the U.S. Senate, John Fetterman is wearing a suit again. Meanwhile, a shutdown of the federal government looms this weekend after a measure by House Republicans failed to clear on Friday, and that process revealed more infighting within the House GOP. Another deadline arrives on Saturday. On September 30th, a federal program that had provided financial relief to child care providers across the United States comes to an end. It was instituted post-pandemic as a way to stave off closures. While some states are facing what advocates have described as a fiscal cliff, Pennsylvania's situation seems to be a little bit different, and it was likened more to the continued attrition of an industry that was already beset by a shallow labor pool and large overhead and little revenue. So what is expected is that the state will expend hundreds of millions more dollars in discretionary funds from the federal government to child care providers. That's expected within the next 12 months, and shortly thereafter, the attrition is expected to speed up, according to advocates. The Pennsylvania House returned to session this week, but there was no movement on the code bills that remain outstanding that would authorize certain spending within the state's new budget. That would include $100 million to supplement Pennsylvania's 100 poorest school districts. And Republican Carolyn Carluccio, a candidate for Pennsylvania Supreme Court, interviewed with reporters and editors across CNHI Pennsylvania's network this week, and she defended herself against allegations that her conservative politics, alleged, could jeopardize abortion in Pennsylvania. The medical procedure remains legal in the Commonwealth, and Carluccio was adamant. She says she'll follow the law, but states have control of what that law is now, and that could change depending on the makeup of the General Assembly in the years to come. Supporters of her opponent, Democrat Daniel McCaffrey, doubt the sincerity of her comments, and they point to remarks made by Republican appointees to the United States Supreme Court that preceded the overturning of Roe versus Wade and all the protections that it had provided for nearly 50 years. That's it for now. See you next week.
I covered the Mohawk Warriors taking on Elwood City. Warriors won 38-14. Took them a while to get the offense rolling, but once they did, it was a snap for the Warriors. And if anything to note of that game was the amazing play by Blake Logan with 0 seconds left in the first half. Jay Rona lobs one after a bad snap, still makes a touchdown. Like Tim McCutcheon says, sometimes these guys just make me look good. That's evident with that play.